Tell you about Santa Fe dehumidifiers. That's all they do. Crawl spaces, attics, wherever you need a dehumidifier, this is your company. Headquartered in Madison, Wisconsin, and US-based tech support. This is a great company. I really like these. I'm Jake Bruton, and today on the Build Show, a truck video from one of my project manager's trucks, who's being kind and letting me drive.
Hi.
Just because his cell phone mounts here and I needed it to be able to drive and do this video. But we're going to talk about project management, and we're going to talk about how things have changed from when I was the one doing it to now that I have 3 other people doing it. And one specific part of that, client communication. Let's do it now. Okay, so our system is always evolving. We're always slightly changing. We're always looking for the newer or better way or more informed way. We're always trying to be better. It's always beta mode, as has been the thing to be said in our office lately. And one of those things that we're working through right now that's in beta mode is we're writing standard operating procedures that we've never had for the company. So this is our 40th year in business. Aarow Building has been in business for 40 years. I've owned the business since 2007, which means it's been a really long time since anybody else has been in charge or been the one doing the work at the top. And now that we have grown, evolved, gotten better, gotten larger, and are producing at a higher level, I would also say, there are more cogs, there are more gears to the mechanisms, and it's no longer what it used to be. So let's talk first about what it used to be. I used to tell all of our potential clients that I was on every job site every single day, and that was absolutely true. Even on days that I was wearing my tool bags and framing at one project, if we had a bathroom going, I would end my day at the bathroom and I would see every single thing every single day. And there could never be more than, say, 8 to 12 hours worth of work that happens without me being there, seeing it, talking to people about it. That also meant that I saw clients nearly every single day. If it's a renovation, it always feels like one of those clients is home during the day, either working remotely or stays home. And if it's a new construction, I would see people at least once a week because I would have scheduled regular Wednesday afternoon meetings with people or Wednesday morning meetings with people so that we could go, hey, you know, here's all the things you need to be aware of right now with your project. And that worked great from a sense of I was the owner, I was the person who did the estimating, I was the person who did the proposal, I was the person who wrote the scope of work, and I was the person who was in charge of the job. So everything kind of funneled through me to whoever needed to know about it. Well, now we have one team member that's in charge of estimating. We have one team member that's in charge of the scopes of work. We have project managers that are in charge of the budget after the job starts. We have project managers that are in charge of the schedule and the subcontractor choices and all those things. And now the job that I used to do by myself is spread across potentially 4 or 5 people when you count our office manager doing some of the paperwork. And hence the reason for the standard operating procedures being created, and our challenge of now we have to have a way that we all do this so that we provide the same customer experience to all of our customers, and so that we make sure that we're all hitting the same mark for performance, so we don't have that one project manager that's really good and that one that's really crappy, and now we have to decide who's going to do what job based off of whether or not they can do it. Instead, if we have a standard operating procedure, an SOP, then all you have to do is follow that, and the only thing that matters is whether or not you show up to work and you do your job. And so, longest intro ever to say today we're going to talk about the weekly email. So when I talk about my time on the job sites, where I used to say I'm on every job every day and all those things, that meant that I didn't have to give a weekly follow-up email to the clients because I was face-to-face with them. I was the only one that was tracking everything, so I knew exactly what was said at any given moment. And now I'm in a position where I might not be in the office for a week. I might be out doing building science symposium or traveling to do stuff at Build Show headquarters or something. And then the next week I'm in and I have one day that I get to be on that job site. Now, that's a terrifying thing for me because it's been on my shoulders for so long, but our team is better at this than I am, and finally it's probably better for me to stay out of the way. That doesn't mean that that weekly email doesn't need to happen. It just means that it doesn't need to come from me. So a couple things about the weekly email. Number one, if you're going to sell it to your clients that you're going to do it, you really do have to do it. Otherwise, you just made an empty promise and you gave them another opportunity to be let down or disappointed in your service. We have a job that's in pre-construction right now, or the beginnings of construction right now, and I'm the one in charge of this part because there's some nuance that needs to be involved. And I sent an email, and then I had to follow-up call with the client, and the client is an attorney, and he was just like, we were just sitting here talking about how great it is that you sent this email, because this is the kind of thing that will keep you from getting sued at any point in your career. If you're communicating clear expectations every week, please keep that up. And it was a real vote of confidence. And then conversation with another client this morning made me decide to make this video. So if you're going to promise it, you have to deliver it. That's number one. Number two, I recommend that the weekly email go out on Wednesdays or Thursdays. I used to send some weekly emails on Monday or on Friday, and it was like, well, here's what happened this week, here's what's going to happen next week. But those weeks were always kind of sketchy. It was kind of like, well, this is what I think is going to happen Monday, but I won't know until Monday morning, or this is what I think is going to happen today, but I won't know until later today, those sorts of things. So we now tie those to our budget reviews. You do a budget review every week, and then after you do that budget review, the email goes out. Now, barring any, like, if the budget review is way off and we have a problem that we need to discuss, it doesn't go in an email, but everything else does. So let's talk about the 5 things that need to be in every email. So if we're sending a Wednesday or Thursday email, here are the 5 points. Number 1, what happened this week? Number 2, what happens next week? Number 3, what's going on with the budget? Number 4, what do I need from you? And number 5, what do you need from me? That is basically every conversation that you're having with the clients anyway, in my opinion. Budget, maybe timeline is in there too, but I'm going to say this week, next week, that's timeline. If I send it middle of the week, I can give you an update of what I think has, or what has already happened, what I think is going to happen. And then next week is kind of a little more vague, a little more out there, and it's not as pertinent that I get it to the day as to what's going to happen. If I don't have any major change in the budget, and I would define major change as like $500 to $1,000 on a new construction. Like if we're off by $500, that's not something we probably need to even discuss. But if we're off by $5,000, that's a big deal, and everybody needs to know about it as soon as possible so that we can affect change in the budget if we need to. But if it's more than $500, we are going to talk about it in person. We're going to schedule it. And most of the time I would say the clients probably know that that's coming if we know it's coming as well. What do I need from you and what do you need from me? Those are big ones. There's always a selection still to be made. There's always a final choice on something. There's always a final answer that is also needed on something from us. Like, yes, we can go ahead and include that exterior kitchen, and this is what it does to the timeline. Here's what I need from you to make that happen, be it a change order or a check or an approval on a line item, or the reverse. Hey, we can't do this until you sign the change order. We can't do this. We can't move forward with this until I have final selection on windows. Whatever it may be. That weekly email could be as short as 2 paragraphs. It also could be 3 pages worth of information if there really are that many things that you need to be discussing with the client at that moment. And so I think, as I said, my client told me the other day, if you're communicating on a weekly basis with your clients, if you're communicating all those 5 things, including the budget, then you'd be hard pressed to ever wind up in a situation where someone's mad at you because they didn't know about something. It's not to say you still couldn't piss them off because they know about it too, but if you're in a situation where the budget is climbing week by week, it's better for that budget conversation to happen every week than it is to happen once every 2 or 3 months, where then you're going, oh, by the way, you're also spending the amount of money you might on a new Honda Civic and I forgot to tell you about that. The difference between, hey, this caused this week, this caused this next week, this causes this the following week, and oh, by the way, we're another 50K. Those are where you win or lose the fight in project management. Your clients being informed from the beginning every week is the best possible thing you can have happen for good client relationships. It also gives them the opportunity weekly for real-time feedback. So even if you don't bump into them on site, or even if there isn't anything that you need to meet with them about, say you're in framing and no changes are happening right now, they have the opportunity to go ahead and check in with you and not have to feel like they're the one hunting you down. They're just responding to the email that you sent. So weekly communication, those 5 things in the email: what happened this week, what happens next week, what's going on with the budget, what do I need from you, what do you need from me, and then that open communication, that's the key to communication that keeps your clients happy and informed. And now that I'm not on every job site every day, we're writing a standard operating procedure for that to make sure that we nail it with every client. So till next time, thanks for watching today on The Build Show, and don't forget to like and subscribe, I should say. Subscribe to the newsletter. It's 2 emails a week. And follow me on Instagram, and follow the Unbuild It podcast on Instagram and all of your listening platforms as well. That's Steve Basic, Peter Yost, and myself talking about building science, and the business of building. Till next time, have a good day.